work extra hard, my dear, you understand? And just a thank you is sufficient. Start by cleaning up this mess.
I play Rodmilla de Ghent, who is, I guess in other versions would be the wicked stepmother. And the thing that's really fun about this show, I think, that is different from the usual story about Cinderella, is that this Danielle, Cinderella, is a very formidable character, and she's there's a lot of parody in terms of her. She's not a damsel in distress, And I think that there's just a really human element to this story.
So I play Captain Laurent. I am the captain of the army, and I'm also the prince's best friend and really his appointed handler. I'm kind of like the modern day Secret Service for him, so I am his protector, and the king often sends me to go and fetch him from all the different places he runs off to.
I'm going from a drunk, from You Can't Take It With You, to a queen, a very regal queen, and she is, she's fearful for her son. She wants her son to marry well, but, she also wants him to be marrying for love, and she's very concerned. She's a very nice lady, as opposed to some of the other roles I've played.
I'm playing the role of Gustave, who is Danielle's best friend. He's also a servant and an aspiring artist. I think there's nothing more exciting than getting to originate a role, to not have a cast recording to look to, and to really be a part of the writer's vision and get to interpret something brand new is always the dream.
I have to say, the first thing that drew me to Ever After was the score. When I heard Marcy and Zena's score, it's so beautiful, so lush, so romantic, and also so witty, and behaves sort of like a classic R&H score or a Lerner and Loewe score that has beautiful ballads, up-tempo numbers, beautiful ensemble singing. That the music really drives the piece. There are a lot of the way songs and scenes sort of seamlessly flow into each other. I think it's really, it's great to see a sort of really score-driven bass musical like this.
So I'm playing King Francis, the King of France. Francis I, who's a historical character, his son Henry. So what's nice about it is it's sort of set in reality, and it's not magic wands and pumpkins turning into coaches. It's the real story of Cinderella, set in a historical time, involving Leonardo da Vinci, who was in France at that time. So it all kind of makes sense. So it's a very exciting story to bring to the stage. I mean, we saw the movie, and I love the movie, and to see it come to life actually physically on stage is going to be very exciting.
I am playing Prince Henry in Ever After, the musical. Essentially, he's Prince Charming, but it's so much more. I always feel like the prince, story-wise, depth-wise, always got the short end of the stick in a lot of these fairy tales, because he just kind of rolls up on a white horse in his fancy outfit, kisses the girl, and everyone lives happily ever after. And it's fantastic because the musical's set in the Renaissance, right at the turn of the 16th century. In a court, based on the real characters, King Francis at the time, and then Prince Henry, who then eventually becomes King Henry II. It sort of gives like so much of that food for, these people were people. And this story could have been real in a sense.
I'm playing the character of Danielle, who is the Cinderella of the story, but I would say it's a very, very different take on Cinderella. This is an incredibly empowered character, and not necessarily from the beginning, but she's a tomboy, she's spunky, she is well educated from, with the help of her father growing up, and so with all of that, she is really content.
Well, what I love about this is the women's empowerment. I mean, Danielle, Cinderella, is her own woman. I mean, she basically can fend for herself. At the beginning, as you saw today, she says, who needs love? And she just happens upon love, but she's not waiting for some man to come and save her from her life. She actually goes out and gets what she wants, and in the meantime, she happens upon the prince.
Well, I think it's been trial and error, because I think what they started out with was pretty much the script of the film with songs, and what we've been learning during the creative process is how to use the music to push the story forward and replace scenes, and so it's been an evolving thing with all of us contributing, and that will continue once we add the sets and the costumes and the all-important audience before we get the final product.
You know, we're definitely sort of faithful to the film in terms of the story and the characters, but you have to reimagine it for stage. Obviously, a film can have many, many more scenes and can traverse, through woods. I mean, there'll be no horses on stage at Paper Mill Playhouse. But we also have the element of music, and that can also tell story and give emotion and display character. So, obviously, you don't have it's not as wordy as the film is, because the music takes over and gives you a lot of that. But I think people who are fans of the film will be very satisfied with this musical adaptation.
The structure is obviously there. Of course, there are beautiful moments and heightened moments where it feels like music and song kind of naturally emerge. But I think that people who, as I am a fan of the film, will be very excited to kind of see that come to life in a different way.
There's nothing like working on a new musical. At this point, a world premiere of a musical it's such an important task we're given to help shape the future of this, but it's such a great opportunity to put my stamp on it.